So in this video, I'm going to illustrate how your IPSEC is going to look like behind a NAT. So IPSEC, if you do not have multiple public IPs to play with, then you're going to have to NAT and do IPSEC on that. If I can spell IPSEC correctly. So the setup that I have for this, and I'm also doing BGP on IPSEC in this video. So the setup that is going to be very typical for a small, medium enterprise that do not own public IP addresses. So in terms of public IPs, let's just say you just have one on each site, right? So your setup is pretty straightforward. You've got a gateway, router, or firewall, and then you have a LAN, and this guy is connected to the internet. And in my case, this is VOS2, VOS1. I've configured 888 on here to emulate internet traffic on a loopback interface here. So V2 is connected to V3, and this is your other site. This could be two clouds for that matter, or two on-prem or on-prem / cloud, or any combination. Idea is you only have one public IP to do the design. One public IP. So in my case, this is 12.0.0.1. Obviously, this is 2. This is .2, and this is 23.0.0.3 here. And this guy is not configured with any static routing, only connected routes, just simulation of internet. Okay. Now the idea is that now how do I get my internet traffic from here to the internet and yet use these single public IP addresses that I've got, obviously static, that should not change, to do a IPSEC tunnel. So the way I'm going to do IPSEC tunnel is I'm going to do a dummy interface that I'm going to use on both sides, and create IPSEC. To do that, I would have to NAT because it needs to be reachable through the internet. So I'm going to have to configure NAT here and NAT here. And so this is my V1 LAN. And here's my V1 LAN. This network is 10.1.1.0/24. This is .1, .2. This one is 10.3.3.0/24. .3.1. So now the traffic from here, I'm going to use BGP to advertise these networks and the traffic will go like this between the LANs, and for the internet it's going to go like this. So this one, all it's got is a quad 0 to the next hop, which is this guy. Same here, quad 0 to the next hop, which is this guy. And for the LAN routing, I'm using BGP2 advertise, and for IPSEC, I'm using a dummy interface. Dummy 0 here, dummy 0 here, and NAT. So let me show you the routers first. I'm going to show you this guy, V1 LAN. Showing interface. This one is 10.3, and this one is 10.1. Route quad 0. Showing interface 10.1. Ping, I'm gonna ping this guy. Show interface 10.3.1, 10.3.3.1, 10.3.3.1. Okay. So trace route to 10.3.3.1. I'm going through my IPSEC. This is my IPSEC tunnel. And then if I do trace route to 888, which is my internet router loopback, the trace routes are obviously different. Same thing here. Trace route to 10.1.1.2, going through IPSEC. Okay. Trace route to 888, going through the internet. So that's my LAN routers. Let me show you the NAT gateways and the IPSEC routers. Okay, this is my internet router, pretty straightforward. Magically here, just the 888 as a connected route on loopback, show IP route, nothing there. Show interface, 2 connected routes, that's about it, okay? And my first NAT router is like this. I've got NAT route, which is pretty straightforward. I've got BGP, and this is part of the IPSEC, protocol static interface routes. Not this one. Only these 2. Okay. And then you've got the IPSEC. Configuration. It's the IPSEC, NAT, and BGP. Same thing for V3. Here's the IPSEC. Again, I'm peering with public IPs on V3 and V1. In my case, the public IPs. Right? My BGP, on the other hand, is on private, which is getting NATed on the NAT gateway, and the NAT configuration is pretty straightforward on the BIOS. And then V1's show interface, obviously you gotta see, make sure your VTI interface is up, BGP is up, and obviously you are exchanging BGP routes right here. You're advertising your local LAN here on V1, and on V3 you're advertising your local LAN 10.3 right here. That's how your V1 is getting V10.3. There is BGP. And on V3 you're getting BGP N1. So that's how your BGP over IPSEC and NAT looks like. Setup is extremely useful for companies that are working to design this setup with one public IP, whether it's on-prem or in the cloud or any combination of that. But this would work for them to route their networks over the internet. Hope this helps.